We wouldn't be, we couldn't be, the people we are now, without the moments happening around us, even now. Welcome back to the Discoveries of Writing Daily. To briefly recap, I am writing every day for 6 months and posting weekly videos of my progress. It's the end of week 2, and I found some interesting things as I wrote. This week, I mainly focused on finding the beauty of moments. Sometimes, as we write, we get so caught up in trying to find the next big thing. We work so hard to craft everything perfectly, and, in the process, we usually cover a lot of ground. We try to go from A to Z in one piece. Is it impossible to do? Of course not. Some things require that style of writing. However, it may not be the best way to approach everything. When we try to get from one point to another as fast as possible, we forget to develop our characters. We end up with shallow, flat characters who nobody cares about by the end of the story. It may be hard not to write fast, as it is a fairly simple way of writing. But let me suggest another way of filling in your plot. As you write, look for the moments. Now, before we really jump into this, I should tell you how I try to write my characters. I like to create characters that are very human, characters who love things, who hate people, who get jealous and nervous just like we do. Just because you're writing fantasy doesn't mean you have to write characters that are extraordinary. They can have flaws, shortcomings, misunderstandings, and they should, because they're human. They can also have strengths and triumphs, because again, they're human. How can we discover these qualities about them? By giving them moments. According to Google, a moment is defined as a very brief period of time. Interestingly, it is also defined as importance. I think this highlights the true nature of moments. To me, moments are anything that deepen our understanding of a character in a single event. Let's say we have two characters who are riding in a car together, they're moving their way down a road, and it's getting late. Now, how can we add to this moment to make it drive the story forward? Pun intended. One way to achieve this is to use imagery. Imagery is visually descriptive, sometimes figurative, language. Think of trying to evoke different senses as you write. What kind of car are they riding in? How does it smell? Do the characters feel for each other in a certain way? These things not only add emotion to our story, but they make the characters more relatable, or more human. By including these little details in your story, your characters truly come to life. Another thing I found as I focused on the moments in my writing is that my characters surprised me. I don't often plan too far ahead when I write. It allows for moments to happen on their own. Sometimes, when I start writing, I think something is going one way, and by the end of my session, it's gone in a completely different direction. Let your characters have moments of their own. Because they're human, they have thoughts, feelings, things they want to do. If you consider them this way, your story will become rich with detail. A tip for finding moments. Work on observing the world around you. The next time you're at a bus stop or a train station, just people watch. Don't be creepy about it. Just notice the people around you. Believe it or not, they all have a life as crazy and complex as you do. They all have families, responsibilities, worries. And, if you're lucky, you'll see a truly unforgettable moment happen right in front of you. As Pablo Picasso said, "Good artists copy, great artists steal." I'm currently working on a song about a wife that is neglected by her husband. Now, I've never been in this situation, but I know what it's like to feel forgotten and left out. I can use that experience to make this woman more relatable. There is a moment in the song when she is expressing just how much she wants her husband to notice her. After complaining to him in a fairly normal manner, she begins to say whatever's on her mind, no matter how ridiculous. In my life, I have found that sometimes being absurd is the only way to get someone's attention. This is just one example of how you can steal from your own life to add to a character's development. I have a theater teacher who says that art reflects life. I completely agree with this thought. We should look for moments in our lives to include in our work. Look for things not only in your life, but in the lives of others. Write something inspired by a friend or a relic from your childhood. These can be exciting, But don't forget about the obscure, the random, the boring. What can be gleaned from those life experiences? How can you make moments that truly reflect life? Just some questions to consider. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and it gives you some inspiration to think a little differently the next time you write. Thanks for watching, and remember, just because nothing is due doesn't mean you should do nothing. See you in a week.